Hey, fourth grade scholars. It's me, Mr. Thompson, and thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to be walking you through Module 1, Lesson 4, which means I get to show you how to read and write multi-digit numbers using base number or base 10 numerals, number names, and expanded form. So let's look at some of our vocabulary words. The first word we're going to use, expanded form. That means we're going to represent a number by showing the value of each digit. Word form means we're going to represent a number by only using words. So when we see a number, all we do is write it out the way we say it. And then standard form is representing a number by only using numbers, and that's what we've been doing pretty much all the way up until this point. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at some of the problems we're going to be learning about today. So this problem asks us to write a standard number in word form and expanded form. So we have this number 27,085. So the first thing I want to do to turn it into expanded form is I want to draw a place value chart. I love these place value charts. My place value chart is going to have 6 place values. So go ahead and divvy yours up. And I'm going to have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and then 100,000s. And again, I'm going to use abbreviations just because I don't have enough space right now. Next, I place my number into my place value chart. So each place value will receive a digit. So start in my ones place, the 5 goes in my ones, the 8 in the tens, the 0 in the hundreds, the 7 in the thousands, and 2 in the 10,000s. Okay. So now what we do is to put this in expanded form, we look at each place value and we determine what's the value of that digit. So if I have 5 ones, right, how much is that worth? Well, that's just 5, okay? We go to the tens. Well, we have 8 tens. So for me to figure out how much 8 tens is worth, I might want to skip count by tens. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So 8 tens represents 80. Well, if I have 0 hundreds, 0, remember, stands for nothing, and it represents nothing. So all we do is say we have 0 hundreds. 7,000. So skip count thousands 7 times. And what number do you get? Well, you get 7,000. So how do you write 7,000? Well, it's 7, comma, 0, 0, 0. And then 2 10,000s. So think about skip counting 10,000s 2 times. So that'd be 10,000, 20,000. So I have to go ahead and put 20,000 for 2 10,000s, right? And for me to write this in expanded form, all I do is I put a plus sign, an addition symbol in between all the numbers we just wrote. So I'm going to go ahead and write 20,000 plus 7,000 plus 0 plus 80 plus 5. The second way I could also write this is 20,000 plus 7,000 plus 80 plus 5. Notice the difference between these two is that I have no term representing the hundreds. And I don't have a term representing the hundreds because the hundreds place has a 0 and 0 represents nothing. So I don't have to always put it in there. So I can either write it, my expanded form, like this or like this. Both ways are going to be correct. So now what we do is we read the number and we just write it down for word form. So if I reread this number, I see it's 27,000 and then 85. And so I write it exactly the same way that I read it. So I had 27, so I'm going to write 27,000. That comma, remember, separates the thousands period and the ones period. So we know wherever we see that comma, we're ending the thousands period. And then to the right of the comma, we only see a 085, which means if we just read that number as 085, we would read it as 85. So behind the comma, I'm going to write the words 85. Okay? So however we read the number accurately is the way we are supposed to write the number in word form. Okay? And we'll continue to practice this idea as we go through this video. So next, let's take a word form and turn it into standard and expanded form. Okay? So the first thing we need to do is read this number. Well, we have 270,850. So again, I might want a place value chart. And I have 6 place values. My ones, my tens, my hundreds, my thousands, my 10,000s, my 100,000s. And the next thing I need to do is put a comma in where my commas go. Well, my comma goes between my thousands and hundreds place. So that's going to kind of help us rewrite this number in standard form. Because if you look at our word form, you see 280 or 270,000 comma. So the 270 is to the left of the comma. So in the left of a comma in our place value chart, we need to put 270. Well, how do we write 270? Well, it's a 270. So the only way I could do this is put a 2 in my 100,000s place, a 7 in my 10,000s place, and a 0 in my thousands place. And then the right of the comma is 850. 850. Well, how do I write 850? Well, it's an 850. So the 8 must go in the hundreds, the 5 must go in the tens, and the 0 must go in the ones. So my standard form is 270, comma 850, which is also 270,850. Now, we just need to turn this in expanded form. So we go by each value, each digit in each place value, and we find the value of each one. So 0 ones, well, that's just 0, right? 5 tens, skip count by tens 5 times. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 800, so that's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800. So I write 800. And that was pretty self-explanatory. 0 thousands. Well, this is a 0 again, guys. So we must put a what? A 0. 7 10,000s. Well, this time 10,000s. Remember, we skip count by 10,000. So 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000. So I go ahead and put 70, comma 0, 0, 0, which gives me 70,000. And then 200,000 is going to be 200, comma 0, 0, 0. And that's 200,000 because 100,000, 200,000, skip counting wise. And for me to write this in expanded form, I simply just put plus signs in between, and I can take out the zeros if I would like. So I can write it as 200,000 plus 70,000 plus 80 plus 50. And if I wanted it to write it the other way, my second option, and include those zeros, would be the exact same way. And after the 70,000s, we have 0,000. Yep. And then 800 plus 50 plus 0 ones. So both of those ways of writing expanded form would be accepted. Okay. Last one, convert a number in expanded form to word form and standard form. Okay. So again, what I would want to do here is I would simply want to use my place value chart. Again, how many place values do we want in our place value chart? We want 6. And once we have those 6, we do need to label those. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at each number as itself. So the first one I'm going to look at is 3. Well, 3 must be 3 ones. So I put the 3 in the ones place. 70. Well, how could we get to 70? Well, that's skip counting by 10. So how many tens do I need to get to 70? Well, I need 7 tens. Okay, my next one is hundreds. Well, how many hundreds do we have? We have 500, so I can put 5 in the hundreds place value. Let's look at the next one. That's 8,000. So how many thousands do we have? Well, we have 8. And then we have 700,000. So should we put anything in our 10,000s place? No. What we should put in our 10,000s place is a 0. So let's go ahead and put a 0 there. And then we have that 7 that goes in the hundred thousands place. So my standard form is going to be 708,573. Okay? And so for word form, what I do is I read up until the comma. So what number do we see up until the comma? What's the left side of the comma? Well, it's 708. And if we read 708 as a number, we would say 708, right? So I'm going to write 708. And then we have a comma, so that tells us we're ending our thousands period. So I'm going to go ahead and put thousands. And then I put the comma, right? And so now we look at the right side, and the right side says 7 or 573. How do we read that number? It's 573. So we put 573. Okay? So the question I want you to think about today is, what role can 0 play in a number? I want you to be able to answer that question when you go see your teacher today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for paying attention. We'll see you next time.